Hello everyone, hope you guys are having a great day. It is July 13th, and today I'm back with another video. Sorry I haven't been posting in a while. I've been in Florida for the past 2.5 weeks, and it's pretty much impossible to post down there, so sorry about that. But now I'm back, so normal uploads will resume. And yeah, so today's video is going to be focused on the severe weather threat in the Midwest tomorrow. We do have an enhanced risk for areas in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Illinois. You can see that right here. 5 torr, 30 wind, and a 15 hail. So we're going to be talking about that. So let's get started. So we're going to first off look at the HRRR. So this is 500 millibar winds. Just by looking at 500 millibar winds, it does look like we would want to look at maybe the chance of some severe weather in this area. This would be kind of an area of interest. I mean, this doesn't look like a great setup. Looking at 500 millibar winds, but definitely looks like that'd be an area to watch with that wave. And then next, let's go ahead and take a look at McSlayer Cape. This is tomorrow afternoon around 20 Z. You can see we have plenty of instability for storms. We likely have storms that or I guess cold pooling in this area, so not a lot of instability, but that's because of the storms. We go earlier in the day, we can move up to around, let's go up to 18Z 2 hours before. We can see we had a little more instability. See, HRRR does seem to have a lot of just kind of rain in that area, so we'll have to see if this actually verifies. I mean, the HRRR doesn't look too significant. But let's zoom in on the Midwest and take a few soundings. So, here we go. This is 18Z. It's pretty interesting. Let's take a sounding in southeastern Iowa and see if it's any good. Definitely interesting. Got plenty of instability. Lapse rates are, I mean, not too steep, but this sounding doesn't look to be too much of a tornado threat, really. I mean, there would be a slight one, but a slight tornado threat, but really just damaging winds and some hail with that. Then we take a sounding in Wisconsin. Once again, really not that impressive, just damaging winds and hail, maybe a little bit of a torr threat, but nothing really significant though. Once again, we go later. This is 20Z now. We have storms moving into Illinois. Let's take a sounding in northwest Illinois, right in front of that cluster. Indicated on the HRRR. Maybe you will have a tornado threat with this. Shear profiles aren't terrible. I mean, they're not that great. Pretty bad. But, I mean, they would be supportive of a slight tornado threat. Still, once again, damaging winds and hail would be a threat with that sounding. And now let's go ahead and move up to forecast hours. To forecast hour 22, which is 22Z tomorrow, so this is around 5 p.m. That's Central Time. Might have some more storms starting to go off in Iowa, southern Minnesota. Let's take a sounding with those, see if they're any good. I mean, the sounding's not terrible. Torr threat would exist, for sure. Those shear profiles are not bad. This would probably be a 5% risk, which I think we already have. Actually, tornado. I mean, this sounding would support all modes. Severe weather with that. Go ahead. Let's go ahead and go to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. We have a lot of storms going off in Iowa. We have that leftover cluster in Illinois. Let's take a few soundings in Iowa. That would be kind of the biggest or best area to look for storms off the HRRR. Okay, I don't know how to speak sometimes, but with this sounding I took in central Iowa, this would support a tornado threat once again. Definitely 2% to 5%. Nothing like a tornado outbreak, just a little bit of a tornado threat. Definitely something to watch. Once again, doesn't look to be anything too impressive. Let's take a sounding in western Iowa. Now, their shear profiles are weird, but kind of interesting. That's contaminated though, so let me take a different one, see if I can get one that's not contaminated, which I may not be able to do. Let's take one further east. I mean, once again, I might have we'll have a little bit of a tornado threat stretching, maybe even into Nebraska, which I think, yeah, we already have a little bit of a risk, 2% out there. So let's take a look at let's use the NAM3 now. Not expecting anything. I mean, the NAM3 is not an extremely, well, really no model. Really, HRRR, the NAM3, none of them are extremely reliable. No other model is extremely reliable. You just kind of, yeah, just really. But once again, I can't talk. I'm sorry. But this is the NAM3, a different model than the HRRR. Let's see what kind of solution it has. So you can see at the same time, this is 00Z. Storm stretching from Nebraska up into southern Minnesota. We got that cluster still in Wisconsin. Now let's take a sounding with that cluster. See if the NAM3 would have a maybe greater tornado threat with that. And I mean, definitely a 2% risk with this. But once again, still nothing too impressive. Probably all modes. A little bit less of a hail threat. Probably mainly damaging wind. And with that cluster as it moves into Wisconsin, Illinois. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a few tornado warnings issued for that. It does look like the tornado threat is quite low with that cluster, which both the HRRR and the NAM3 are kind of certain that there will be a cluster that tracks from, or maybe some kind of squall line that tracks from Wisconsin, maybe even in northern Illinois. Then at 00Z, we can see some storms stretching through Iowa and Nebraska. Seems like the NAM3 has those storms further to the northwest than the HRRR, and it kind of has it more organized. So let's take a sounding in northern Iowa. That's kind of weird. Let me take a different one further to the south. Let's take one right here. All right, so this is actually kind of good. We have lots of instability. Decent. The NAM3 does indicate a decent tornado threat. We do have some decent shear. Probably a 5%. And once again, plenty of instability. The NAM3 does seem to have maybe a little bit more of a large hail potential than the HRRR. And then, once again, damaging winds will likely be the main threat with that. With the chance of some hail and maybe an isolated tornado. Take a sounding in western Iowa. Alright, this one's kind of interesting. Definitely damaging winds with this. And maybe a slight tornado threat. Their shear profiles aren't too great, but they would support maybe a little bit of a tornado threat. So yeah, that's tomorrow's severe weather threat. The SPC has an enhanced risk out now. I don't think we're gonna, as of right now, I don't think we're gonna get a 10 tour. It's definitely not out of the question. I do think there is a slight chance that it could happen. I mean, I don't really. I wouldn't put in a 10 tour as of right now. But if the model's uptrend a bit, then maybe. But the tornado threat doesn't look to be too significant, but definitely it's going to be something to watch. It is there, and damaging winds I do think will be the main threat. So is the SPC, and maybe we could see a. I don't think we're going to get an upgrade to a 30 hail. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, that's tomorrow's severe weather threat. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the day 3 Alex. What we have going on here. We just have a large marginal risk extending from areas of the Great Lakes down into Texas and Oklahoma. I mean, I don't want to. Let's use the NAM for this. See if we can go out to Thursday afternoon. Yes, a Thursday afternoon we have a. That's definitely that looks kind of interesting. Let me zoom out here to the continental U.S. and so we can see we have a low up in Canada. Looks to be a cold front or some kind of front. Severe weather threat along that. Let's just take like 2 soundings real quick. Yeah, damaging winds. Maybe some hail too. And up in Illinois, definitely damaging winds and some hail as well. It doesn't look to be much of a Tor threat in this. It doesn't look on Thursday. I don't think we're gonna have much of a Tor threat in this region. Talking really eastern Illinois up into Michigan. I don't think we're gonna have much of a Tor threat. Oh, we'll have to see though. But this does look interesting to me. The NAM indicates a low pressure, a pretty deep one actually, in northwestern Missouri, along the same front. They look to be connected. So just by looking at this, it looks like maybe we could have a increased tornado potential along really close to that low in areas of Missouri and western Illinois as that low tracks east. Now let's see if we have any consistency. So let's go back to the 18Z run of the NAM, and that low wasn't there. So I mean that's not really consistent at all. It's pretty terrible actually. So we may not even have that low actually end up there. Let's see what the GFS has. GFS is low there too, so that's going to be something to watch. Doesn't have it as deep, but practically in the same place. So let's just take a few soundings with that low and see, because that does look like maybe a little bit of a decent tornado threat. I mean, shear profiles are supportive of a 2% torus, nothing bad. Take a sounding further to the southwest in southwest Missouri. Once again, maybe a 2%. And then take a sounding way down. Let's take one in Texas on this front. Pretty much a large hail threat for sure with that. Maybe some damaging winds as well. So overall, Thursday, I think that this area right here, I don't think is gonna. I don't think we're gonna want to watch that area for tornadoes. I'd say damaging winds and some smaller hail. Tornado threat is low. And we'll have to see about that. And then this area though is where I'd want to watch for maybe a bit of an enhanced tornado threat if we can get that low. The models really aren't consistent with it. But the NAM and the GFS both the new NAM and the GFS both kind of think that we'd have a low there. But it doesn't seem too consistent. So maybe a little bit of a Tor threat in this area here. We'll have to see about that though. Maybe a little bit further east too, and maybe in the western Illinois. So now we're gonna switch over to the GFS and go out to Friday real quick. So Friday at 21Z, this is what we have going on. We have some monsoon rains in Arizona and New Mexico. And also, Arizona's been getting a lot of rain, or not really a lot of rain, but I mean, I guess a lot of rain for Arizona standards recently, and that's good. And even some severe weather has been occurring in Arizona. So that's kind of interesting. But yeah, so now Friday at 21Z, this is Friday afternoon. Pretty much getting close to the evening hours. We have a surface low up in the Great Lakes area. That probably some kind of front like this doesn't look to be a strong front, so it's not going to play a huge part in influencing severe. It's not really going to play a huge part in anything, but maybe it increases some showers and thunderstorms. I don't think we're going to have much of a severe threat ahead of this front. Maybe a marginal risk or a slight risk. That's it though. Nothing too severe. Damaging winds will likely be the main threat on Friday along that front. Now let's take a sounding in New Mexico. Yeah, that's not really good. But I do think we're going to have thunderstorms once again Friday in the Four Corners states. And yeah, so that's Friday. We'll go out to Saturday real quick and see what we have going on. So, surface low tracks in the northeast. This looks like maybe a little bit of an East Coast day. Maybe some kind of severe weather risk for us in the East Coast. Take a sounding in North Carolina. Not too impressive. Damaging winds, maybe. Take a sounding and kind of stick one in Massachusetts. I don't think this is going to be good. I mean, not bad, definitely. Not bad. Definitely some damaging winds. Maybe a 2 tour. We'll have to see. Saturday does look a little more interesting than Friday. Maybe for areas of the Northeast. So, yeah, that is the severe weather threat. Now let's go ahead and move on and talk about tropics. There's not much to talk about. It'll be really quick. We do have a disturbance. 10% chance of formation, so not likely at all. This is nothing to stress about or anything. Just a little disturbance, a very low chance of formation, but we will watch it and we'll see how it's looking in the next video and see if it has the chance of doing or has a chance of doing anything. Other than that, we have nothing else going on in the Atlantic. Eastern Pacific, we have 2 disturbances of pretty high chances of forming into something. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back probably on Thursday. My upload schedule right now is going to be I'm trying to do Tuesday, Thursday, and then maybe Saturday and Sunday. Because during the week I'm going to be busy as we get into August. But yeah, that'll wrap up this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back on Thursday. But yes, goodbye.